Okay, Eagle Nation, today is the first day of OTAs and you can expect a lot of competition. That's not all. Brian Dawkins speaks out on Fangio and some important notes for 2024. Plus, an NFL analyst breaks down the Eagles' most underrated signing. And we talk about the Jalen Hurts slander / biggest weakness on offense has been corrected. Y'all know what that is. But first, Cooper Dean, aka Dijon, just signed his rookie deal, 4 years, $9.2 million. There's only one more rookie left to sign. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast, and today we got a lot to get into. But if you are excited that today is the first day of OTAs, hit that like button for your boy, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So as we all know, the Eagles start their OTAs today. This is where we get to learn a lot prior to training camp. This is where some of the positional battles start and what the Eagles are trying to implement early on, offensively and defensively. But more importantly, who their personnel is. Who are they looking to possibly play more in training camp at linebacker, at CB2, wide receiver 3, right guard, safety, slot, what their base packages is, things of that nature. Again, this is the appetizer to training camp, so we're not going to learn everything, but we will get an idea of certain things we just talked about. Shout out to the Swoop Scoop who tweeted OTA offseason workouts May 20, May 22, May 23, May 28, and May 30 and 31. And then something we didn't do in 2023, which is the mandatory mini camp, June 4 through 6. Now, the Eagle players, most of them, almost all of them, are going to show up for the 6 days of OTAs in May. You don't start building culture in September. You do that in April, May, and June. So hopefully we have some footage and some stories to talk about in tomorrow's video. So give me a OTA hot take and or positional battle you're dying to see. If you do the positional battle, let me know who you think is going to win as well. Moving on to the big play slay stuff that hit Twitter yesterday. I guess during the Woman Festival, someone took a picture of a big play slay's locker. She put the finger up at it and it is what it is. Some people are upset with Big Play Slay for, I guess, his podcast, but you can't be upset for his play as an Eagle. Since joining the Birds 21, 22, and 23, he's a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, 9 interceptions, and 2-year captain for the Birds. Yeah, having a podcast means you got to talk about the good and the bad, and sometimes we don't want to hear it when we're losing. That being said, I don't know who's going to be the starting cornerback 2 in 2024. Quinyon Mitchell, James Bradbury, Keely Ringo, Cooper Dean, but I do know Slay will be one of the starters in 2024. I think the narrative on Slay is way overblown. He's still playing as a top 10 corner in the league, and this is most likely going to be his last year due to his age and contract, so I'm just trying to figure out who plays alongside of Slay, because Slay will show up in 2024. And the reason I didn't mention Isaiah Rodgers as an outside corner, not saying he can't do it if he's thrusted into it via injury, but I think the Eagles really want him to play in the slot, so it's him versus Avonte Maddox versus Tyler Hall and Sean Stevenson, and maybe Cooper Dean because he could play all over the place, including safety. Not saying we couldn't use another safety so we can maximize Dean as a legit corner. Cough, cough. Justin Simmons, I'm just saying. We'll see what happens. In other Eagle news, Brian Dawkins made an appearance on 94 WIP, and he had a couple things to say, starting with the collapse of last year. I literally lose my words when I try to talk about that collapse last year. The small things that you're supposed to be doing on the field that weren't being done week after week after week, and nobody saw it. He said, and I quote, "That should never happen again," which I absolutely agree with. He did have a good point to talk about as it pertains to the epic collapse. He said it can fuel this year's team. If you went through that pain should rise your leadership. Pain drives you, man. Pain can make you recognize what you need to do better. Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and start there. Lastly, he was asked about the Eagles' new DC, and he said, What has his other defenses done? What have they been about? If the last couple of stops give you any highlight of what to expect, you can expect this defense to be vastly improved. Sounds like Brian Dawkins is a fan of the Fangio hire. As for an underrated signing that not many people were talking about before Bucky Brooks said on Move the Sticks podcast, Word on the Bird tweeted, the most underrated signing on their defense is Devin White. Yeah, no one has even talked about Devin White. Like, I don't know if we've forgotten, but this dude 2 years ago, we talked about him being the best at the position. And again, it's only 2 years ago that he was propped up and talked about as the best linebacker in the NFL. I know he had a down year, but at 26, you can have a down year in an ugly situation, a toxic situation, and turn it around. We're not trying to save a 30-year-old, a 33-year-old's career. This is a 26-year-old who's been playing at the top of his game for a while, had a bad season, signs a one-year prove-it deal, understands the situation, always wanted to be in Philly, and had an attitude change right away. His first presser in Philly, he's talking about starting all over. He don't know who was on the field last year because it's not him. Devin White, clean slate, sign me up. Again, that don't mean we do not need Nakobe Dean. We definitely do. And the microscope should be on him, but it should be on the injuries. He got to stay healthy. That's where it starts. I'm not mad at anybody who says Nakobe Dean got to show me. I'm with y'all. But there's some people ready to move on. Would I like to see Jeremiah Trotter contribute in year one? Of course. Maybe Zach Baum as a joker and a special weapon for Vic pays off. But I'm still looking at the Nakobe Dean, Devin White tandem, and I'm not going to cut him no slack. He got to stay healthy, and he got to impact the 2024 Eagles defense. I'm just not willing to say I gave up on him. He's done. We got to move on. Big year, Nakobe Dean. All eyes on you. Now, before we get to the main weakness on offense has been dealt with this offseason, plus the slow sports talk Jalen Hurts disrespect, and A.J. Brown just being A.J. Brown, but for a great cause, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Mando, the best way to control odor for your pits, packages, and feet. And I know some of y'all need it for your feet. My favorite is the deodorant, Mount Fuji. Sorry about the green screen, but this deodorant is the longest lasting deodorant I honestly ever use. Some of these other brands claim 48 hours. They barely work for 6 to 8. This one controls odor for 72 hours. I'm telling you, the longest lasting. Plus, you put some other deodorants on, guess what? It's itchy, it's sticky, it bothers, at least me. I know it bothers some of y'all. This one is so smooth and solid. I promise you can't go wrong with this, but in a starter pack, you get wipes. Quick for your packages, your feet, or the pits real quick, especially after the gym, right? Plus, they come with a lotion. That's mainly for those feet and those packages that, you know what I mean, the soap and the showers don't do. You still should be taking a shower. Go to the description or the pinned comment section at shopmando.com. Click it. Use promo code PhillyMike, all capitals, to get $5 off. Once again, link in the description and the pinned comment at shopmando.com. Click the link. Use code PhillyMike, all capital, not the exclamation point, and get $5 off your starter pack. Promise you, you won't regret it. Flipping it over to the offensive side of the ball, the biggest weakness the Eagles had in 2023 was play calling. Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, and we had no answer for the blitz, but that's all the same answer. They were the main reason we had no answer for the blitz, and I'm not going to lie, there were times Jalen Hurts made the wrong read, escaped the pocket too early, no ifs, and or buts about it, but that's 20%. The other 80 was definitely on the play calling and the coaching and certain designs that between coaching, quarterback, and wide receiver, everybody was on different pages. Shane Half tweeted, last season the Eagles were blitzed on third down 44.6% of the time. That ranked first in the NFL. The gap between them and second is the same gap between second and 18. My goodness. When blitzed, they had absolutely zero answers and became a below-average offense, 20th in EPA per play. And the reason I'm confident it won't happen again is because we got the answer. Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts is a recipe for success. Last year, under Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert was 6th in EPA/play against the Blitz, and Dak was 1st in EPA versus the Blitz in 2022 and top 10 every season under Kellen Moore. Again, Jalen Hurts going to have to clean some stuff up, turnovers and whatnot, but the 80% will be cleaned up by Kellen Moore. The utilization of the middle of the field, which we've seen sprinkled in 2023, and it worked, but we shied away from it. Again, the attention to detail in certain routes are important. You got to let a receiver know when he needs to get off the line of scrimmage ASAP for the quarterback because he's hot. Even at times, the offensive line protection was in shambles, not because of the players, but because of the play call. Even when it was the right play call, the communication was off. Again, it all stems back to how they're practicing, how they're being coached, the attention to detail, and the communication. See, this needs to be talked about. But takes from Emmanuel Ocho, which I talked about 5 days ago on Twitter, that Jalen Hurts is good enough to get you to a Super Bowl but not win it, is ridiculous. This is what happens on sports shows at this time of the year. I simply said, dude has the second highest quarterback grade in Super Bowl history. Dude being Jalen Hurts. Again, once we get these things corrected under Kellen Moore, I expect Jalen Hurts to be as good, if not better, than the 2022 season. And this Eagles offense is going to be dangerous. And that's without me mentioning Saquon Barkley. Lastly, I want to talk about the Eagles Autism Challenge. Listen to what A.J. Brown said and did at the fundraiser. I ain't even mad at him.
I'm feeling real calm, real collected. You know, as you see, I brought my electric bike, so I'm working smart, not hard.
Listen, I didn't realize it was an electric.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's gonna fit in, you know. So.
I mean, hold on. We saw the video of you cranking the Autism Foundation, so you should be in the best shape of anybody.
For sure, I'm in great shape, but this is my off day. You know, I'm here to support. You know, put smiles on people's faces, not work too hard. So. Yeah.
Awareness to action. Jeff Lurie and the Eagles know how to get it done. Autism is huge. I love the foundation they run. They've been doing this for a couple years now, and between the fans, the players, the owner, we just make it feel like a family event, and it's for such a great cause. $8.1 million raised, 38,000 plus donors, 5,600 plus participants, and 44 sponsors. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Hit that like, subscribe to the channel, go get your Mando, turn on the notification bell, drop the muscle emoji, leave all your thoughts. Who are your favorite positional battles you're looking for? Give me a hot take. I love hearing from you. And like I said, link in the description. Go get that Mando. We out.